check. Yep.
Oh, that's good.
There we
hear
go.
you now.
Okay.
You did
And we're
it.
in stereo.
You did it.
Good.
Yeah.
Hey.
Great job. I feel like that's 2 weeks in a row. Just had a problem and it took you 2 seconds to fix it. Bill, what kind did you get? What kind is yours? Oh.
It looks exotic.
Yeah.
Definitely exotic. It's definitely exotic. It's very faint.
Kill it and just go to the U, like you.
right, good afternoon, everybody. It's Gord Everett here with Senior Women's National Team Assistant Coach Steve Bauer. Steve, what are our keys to victory today?
Well, I think anytime you get into playoff implications, jockeying for position like this, you can really get down to some fine details. And I think the execution for both teams is always a key. But in this specific matchup, I think for Bill Crothers, it's going to be rebounding and the play inside for them. And I think Durham's going to look to get out in transition and use their athleticism.
And tips won by Durham. Shots just off from Kylie O'Hara.
That's the start we talked about, though, Gord. Want to get something out and running in transition before Bill Crothers is set.
And Keontae Downs comes right back with the miss of her own. Second chance opportunity. Tia Meeser from 3.
It was always tough. You get your first shot blocked. Nice job tracing your own shot and getting it back. But for the defense, it's always tough. It's a funny rebound. It's not on the rim where you're expecting it, so just kind of loose, and you lose some shooters in those scenarios.
A good early offense off the offensive board, too. It's a turnover.
Durham with 2 touches right by the rim here to start on their first 2 possessions. So that's got to be a positive. Despite being at 0 right now, first 2 possessions are in the circle.
A little bit too much pressure there from Kylie O'Hara. Picks up a reach and foul.
And I think right now, even though Crothers has the quick 3-0 lead, I think the focus on defense has got to be a bit of that. So the jump ball, they kind of leaked out a bit on them and get that one in transition. Second time down, get it back, and again, they're in the charge circle of touches, and that's really important. I think as a coach for Bill Crothers, they're going to look at this and say, we got to get some sort of rhythm going on defense and put some resistance up. It can't be everything going at the rim.
Yeah, we're going to see if Bill Crothers can impose themselves a little bit more in the full court as well. Ball back to the top. Looking for post entry to O'Hara. Good pivot move inside.
Continuing to get touches inside. They do a nice job on the other end coming out in zone, but then still jumping the passing lane. So it kind of lulls you to sleep that they're playing zone, but still being aggressive.
They're getting a hand to a lot of things right now. A lot of deflections. Ball's out of bounds off Durham. Nope.
One thing you'll see there too, Gord, is they locked out a bit there, and Bill Crothers didn't convert that, but as soon as Durham thought they had the possession, they left. They had 4 girls almost to half, and they had 1 girl back protecting the rim. So you could just see they're excited to go. And part of that trade-off is what you get. If you're a team that plays in transition, you'll do that some. You'll take those chances going forward and expose some on the back end. So you can see where they're comfortable just the way they naturally play.
Downs is marked up against Pellington here at the top. It's going to be an interesting matchup for most of this game, I think. There's another offensive rebound put back.
And Chava does a nice job there. Looked like she was open the first time there, but they didn't find her. But what she did is she used that advantage, having space to keep moving to get position for the rebound.
Down sees one just rim out. It's Chadwick with the board. Durham freeing up Keyshawn Washington with a couple off-ball screens.
I like what Durham's doing here in the quarter court. They got their best athletes going side to side of the floor, forcing Crothers to extend their defense sideline to sideline as well, too. And I think just trying to find a pocket in that if you can get some space for their athletes to attack.
You got step back 3. Bounced out, offensive board. That's Justina King with the deflection. Ball out of bounds. It's going to be Durham ball.
Chadwick, again, though, we talked about the last possession where she got some space and used it to find open area for the rebounding, and did that again on this one. She was unpicked up for a little bit and just went straight to the hot spot or on the far side of the rim, put herself in the best rebounding position, and it's resulted in 2 offensive rebounds in the last 2 possessions.
9 seconds on the shot clock. That's Downs getting a hand to it again.
Downs doing a nice job. Justina King does a nice job there too, coming over and taking away the drive, kind of flattening Shayna out, allowing Downs to get a hand in there on the pass.
A little sloppy from Durham on the inbounds. It's turned over. It's Downs gets a hand to it for the steal. Ball reversal. Meeser for three.
I tell you, it was fun to watch Downs and Pellington chase after the loose ball. You got two great athletes running from about the own foul line to half court. That was a fun foot race to watch.
It's a good example of how athletic this match is going to be for the rest of the game.
I think Crothers will take that. If they can keep Pellington to the outside shooting those shots, they'll live with the one she makes there, but would prefer to have her on that area.
Little up fake from Ariana Grizzle. Rims out.
One thing Crothers is missing is they don't have a great presence on their defensive glass now. I think that's going to be important for them throughout this game, and I think they need to put some physical toll on Durham by putting bodies on people. I think that'll wear on Durham as the game goes on, but they have to do it now to have that effect.
Shot clock down to 5 seconds. It's easy penetration from Pellington for the easy two.
Nice read. Garda jumped up trying to get her to use the ball screen. Pellington sees the chance to just reject it, and that's where Durham's going to want Pellington. Anything going to the rim. She's so explosive, so dynamic into that small space area. We saw it there, getting 2 feet jumping around a defender. We want to keep her on the move and into gaps.
And they get right back into a trap situation, too. So we have number 9, Lakey Soares, checked into the game. Along with Emma McCamus, who's making her first appearance in quite a while coming off injury.
Nice debut. You know what you really like, because you sub back in when you've missed some time, as you mentioned, and sometimes the habit is to be a bit of a pass or just kind of get a feel for it. But McManus does a real nice job of getting this one, getting a shot fake, putting the ball on the floor, getting a field, and when she drew the contact and felt that, puts the ball up and gives herself a chance for free throws. I mean, this has got to be the ideal return to play. Get out there, ball on the floor, trip to the foul line.
Coach Graham was saying before the game she expects Emma to play some limited minutes today, but you get the feeling she's going to bring a lot of grit and some toughness to this game as well.
Yeah, big plus. And you want her to get that, like you said, get a bit of that rhythm as it comes closer to playoff time.
Looked like over and back there, unless there was a deflection we missed.
McManus obviously drawing high praise. We talk about the ideal scenario on offense and getting a chance to go towards the hoop. On defense, you would think of, I could think of many more ideal scenarios than getting matched up one-on-one with Pellington, but she did very admirable in that. Just got a few hands in, both hands in on the drive.
Yeah, she generally does a very good job of keeping position, getting position on her check. It's Pellington to the rim again. Right now she's getting there at will. Just picks up a tough foul.
Yeah, and Durham in general has had a ton of shot opportunities. I don't know, it's probably 5 or 6 at the rim right now to start this game. So the scoreboard doesn't show, but their shot qualities and opportunities is real high. They're controlling what's happening early. What you don't want is Pellington to take that foul. I mean, you love her to challenge the rebound, but she was definitely behind the girl. There's no reason to put their hands on the back and take that foul.
Deja Moses doing a good job of getting a hand to that on the ball reversal, using her length.
The first tip is usually key for teams that press. If you can get any sort of tip there, it really gets that clock moving quickly, and it kind of eliminates the second reversal. So Moses, as you mentioned, does that. Gets a hand on it, pushes it back. Now Bill Crothers is forced to come everything going directly forward.
Bill Crothers is subbed in number 8, Ariana Grizzle. Justina King push it in transition. Finds an open, almost open Sora in the corner.
Nice job by King getting on in transition. Then from her left hand, so dribbling left hand outside the floor, was able to see cross court to the corner for a shooter, and then follows her own pass. So makes that one, then just continues to go in and fill the best spot on the floor. So they get a good shot, and the offensive rebound leads to a couple free throw opportunities.
Yeah, we'll see if Crothers can grab a lead here. 6-6 with 5 minutes left in the first. Able to convert on the first free throw.
If you're Crothers, I like this a lot. You get a 1-point lead right now, and I think they haven't played their best. They're typically a better rebounding team. They haven't really put their physical presence in on that, and to have a short lead despite the shots they're allowing, I think this is a good start for them.
Washington needs a change of speed there to get baseline. There's an example of McManus on the floor there, getting a hand of it, tie up.
Yeah, and just love that. Like, athletes that put their body on the play like that for you, just always appreciate that. And I think it's a good no call. She didn't really probably have the angle, but still was willing to sacrifice her body, put it in there. And then has the athletic awareness and sense to, from her back, stick her hand out and get that ball tied up. Like, a great play on both fronts.
Crothers looking a little bit more composed there on that one. And Golden gets Julia Chadwick up in the air. She'll shoot 2 from the line.
Now, she'll want that one back. It's a great shot fake. Get it inside there and the patience, and that's what you're always preaching, a little bit of patience inside there. She gets the defender up in the air, goes to it, just like you would want her to do. But then she had total balance and she had to shoot that one, so she just rushed herself a little bit. But, I mean, she had a perfect move and just needed the finish to make that the ideal scenario.
Converts on her first. Sees the second rim. That was another rebound by Chadwick.
Yeah, Chadwick's had a nice stamp on this game early on.
Durham with numbers in transition. Downs catches Kylie O'Hara from behind.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, the foul ended up looking a little probably rougher than it was intended. I think Downs had all the right intentions going to the spot. I think the pass itself traveled slower than she was anticipating, so it kind of had the timing thrown off. I thought it was a good run down, chased the play, and the do-over Durham probably liked the crisper pass, getting that going across the floor.
If this is any indication, I think we have 7 fouls in the first 6 minutes of play almost. This could be sort of a sign of things to come.
I bet both coaches will talk about this, if not sooner, by the first intermission. There's got to get some hands off here.
O'Hara hits her second. It's 8-7 Crothers. And Crothers back down the floor quickly. Golden with a short 2. Oh, great move from Washington.
That's tough. That's what you need. Like, the guards, sometimes a little smaller in stature, have to have that shot, the ability to go up over defense, because you can't always just go around them. And a great job there. Washington got to the space that she could, shot one over top, and just a beautiful soft touch to fall down.
Made a great read on the help coming up. 17 on the shot clock. A little bit more composure from Crothers in the half court. But as soon as you say it, there's a steal. Moses. Long rebound picked up from Washington. It's a nice patient find from Durham, just couldn't get it to drop.
Yeah, Chadwick again. I think Chadwick's just shown great awareness this game. And again, the zone kind of has a player sagging off her, and she goes right to that space. Instead of where a lot of people just like cut towards the ball or they wait when they're open. And that's what the challenge that Crothers ran to the other end is they find themselves open, so they're waiting there. Chadwick does the opposite. That space is there. She cuts right on top of it and eliminates the lane where the defender can come in. They get her the pass. She's on top of the defense now and just missed the layup. But talk about creating a great opportunity.
You see Sabri Thomas replacing Deja Moses at the top of that press. So we have deflection on the 3. Crothers doing a good job that time of checking Pellington in transition.
Yeah, agreed. I think Durham likes to see the rebounds of those snares get to Pellington as early as possible.
It's a good look from O'Hara. Couldn't get it to drop. It's another rebound from Chadwick.
Durham's really, I think, exerted themselves and they're tracking the balls, especially on the offensive end, rebounds, on the defensive end as well, too. And I think Crothers right now is letting a lot of the rebounds come to them, and that's been a little bit of an early difference. Durham's not making great shots that they have, but if this continues, the shot quality they get and the rebound they're doing, this will be trouble for Crothers. So they have to adjust one or the other. And that is either Durham has to take tougher shots or Crothers has to end the possessions after the first shot.
Dawkins sees her attempt tipped out of bounds. There's 5 seconds on the shot clock. Durham be looking for a quick catch and shoot, or another offensive board from Durham. Sabri Thomas puts it back in.
I mean, I want to continue to go on about Chadwick, another great cut, but I'd also like to give some credit to Pellington there, some patience. 5 seconds on the clock. Still gets in and allows the action they're looking for to happen to get that cutter.
It's King battling to get in the paint. Fouled by Pellington. She'll go to the line.
Everyone has their own thoughts on this coaching. I know for me, one of the things that we talked about that first foul that Pellington took on the rebound, and that's why this one's so crucial, because I think for Durham, you like to have her on the ball, you like to have this presence, you like to put that ball pressure on, so you want her to take some of these chances. Now, whether this was or was not a foul, you want her in those situations where she's trying to block some shots, get some steals, so she's going to be exposed to that. So to help that, you can't take that first one where she was no need, stuck on the girl's back and went over top to take that foul. That's the one that's now haunting her and has her on the bench, which is a problem for Durham.
Crothers bringing in Sam Gucciardi here. We'll see if that matchup maybe turns the tide of the favor of Crothers underneath.
Yeah, great point.
O'Hara looking to push in transition. Good anticipation from Tia Meeser. It's a hand to it. Durham down to 12 on the shot clock. Dawkins open from the corner. Knocks down the three. And that's going to put Durham up.
Yeah, you like that when you're Durham. Like when the complimentary players come out, are doing what they're supposed to, like Dawkins, and the players playing great defense, helping out a bit in the rebounding chases, then gets open with good movement and makes the shot when she's open. Perfect.
Durham really showing the value of getting ball reversal there, too, for the more open look.
Great point.
Deja Moses coming back into the game.
Now, to your earlier point, now Crothers came down there. They had Gucciardi inside there trying to get it to her. Tough pass, a little bit low for the big, bouncing it down around her shins, but at least looking in that area and now going to her again on the baseline.
They went right back to her.
And you like that, like trying to establish that now if you're Crothers and hope that keeps her engaged. You might need her just to bring that rebounding presence and hopefully engage some others.
A little high pick and pop from Chadwick.
Yeah, Chadwick Lilly, she wanted that shot. One thing we usually say is, like, if you go out there and get yourself 3 offensive rebounds, you can go ahead and earn yourself a free shot when you're feeling good with it.
And she's certainly capable of knocking it down. Deflected out by Hennessy Lou Brown. Charlotte Clayton's checking in. This is her first action since the fall almost, and she's been out for an extended period of time as well. And we'll see if Crothers can get her the ball for some open looks.
It's good for Crothers to have these bodies returning. We've talked about a couple now already. They're getting back on the floor just prior to playoffs. Let them get some run before that comes. It's tough to integrate and get the rhythm back when your first game back is when it's crunch time. These games matter. The intensity's still up. They're jockeying for position as we highlighted at the beginning, but it's a chance to get those little kinks worked out as well without it costing you a season.
Washington tips her own rebound back out. Moses with a long 2. Saved by Chadwick with the ball bounces out to Gucciardi.
Yeah, Chadwick didn't have enough on that. I thought she made a crafty little play there. Kind of ran around the 2 Crothers players, then was going to try and play off their shins. Just didn't get enough on the pass.
You see that Durham's getting players ahead of the ball well, getting numbers in transition right now. Certainly putting a lot of pressure on the basket for Bill Crothers.
And I think Durham, the coaching staff, they don't mind those mistakes. This one right here, we throw the top. Because now you've got people, like you said, they're running out there, they're getting in front of the transition, they're taking that chance, and they're playing to their strengths. So you'll take a couple of errors in that area as long as they're trying to do that, much more than the other side of it.
Just get the feeling that Crothers is trying to squeeze a few too many passes through here. Durham just doing such a good job of getting hands to things. Washington down the lane again. A little short. Meeser, 1 on the clock. Gets it away in time. It's the end of the first quarter. Score is 14-11 for Durham.
It depends on which side of the coin you look at this. I think if I'm Durham, I'm pretty excited about this from the standpoint that they got a ton of great shots. They were in the paint almost the entire first 5 minutes, which we talked about a lot, and then they continued to get all the offensive rebounds as the quarter went on. So they've been very dominant in those two aspects. If those continue for 40 minutes, those two factors alone will win you a lot of basketball games. If you're Crothers, I would go from the other angle, that we did not have a great quarter doing what we do well, which is rebound the ball and putting some bodies on people. So now they've got 30 minutes. It's a little less time to wear on people, but we have a chance still to put that presence on. It's only a 3-point game, so they're not digging themselves out of a hole. It's a pretty square game, and they've probably had one of their less effective quarters to start.
We'll see if Crothers can start manufacturing some open looks on their perimeter as well. I think Durham's done a good job of getting more open or better looks for some of their shots on the perimeter. They're certainly balancing their attack, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And now the big challenge or question for Durham, maybe not necessarily a challenge, but it's going to be what they're going to do with Pellington in the second quarter now too. And 2 fouls is one of those things that different coaches like to do different things with that. And I'm sure the score is going to be a factor in that. But there's still the debate of, she sat the last couple of minutes of the first quarter. Do you want her sitting for 13 consecutive game minutes plus halftime before she resumes? So I'm assuming at some point we'll see her. It may be a short shift, or they may let her go. We'll see where they're at with Pellington.
We'll see what decisions Coach Krista makes in terms of the matchup as well defensively.
Yeah, great point. It'll be an added element to that too, of where you put her defensively. Make sure she stays out of trouble.
King's certainly shown that she's up for the challenge. So it's going to be Zakia Messam starting the second quarter here for Durham in place of Pellington.
McCamus back on the floor now as well too, which is nice to see for Crothers.
Crothers also coming back with Keontae Downs. Oh, good move by Moses.
Great job by Moses. I mean, you want to say a little bit of patience there when you catch on the high post, but she felt on the catch the defense was too high up one side, and she just went immediately the other way. It was a great awareness before the ball got to her.
Good patience from Downs to find Gucciardi. Gets her own rebound.
I like they're going into Gucciardi. They got her about 4 touches now down there in the block area, 4 attempts. She got one on her own where she got the offensive rebound, but you like that they're getting ball down there and see if that starts to have an effect as this game wears on.
O'Hara on the wing. McCamus doing what she does so well. Picks up a charge on O'Hara.
You know, and both Bill Crothers defenders deserve a lot of credit on that, because what they did is they didn't allow her to get back to the middle, but both of them kept their hands out of the play, and that got O'Hara a bit off balance. She's kind of running downhill, and then what you do is you run over a defender in that situation.
It's going to be O'Hara going out with Chadwick checking back in. Canvas over the timeline. Pick this up the offense for Crothers. Is Moses getting a hand with, forcing the turnover. And King returns the favor with a steal of her own. Bit of a delayed call.
Yeah, I know. I would never question whether it's the right or wrong call by a referee. I mean, there was definitely contact. She was in the spot. What I would question, or what I would be arguing in this scenario if I was Coach Graham, was maybe for a travel call instead of the offensive. It looked like there's enough of a delay. Looked like she could have potentially shuffled her feet after that contact. So if you were unsure, any reason for a delay, that could have been another potential out. But definitely contact. Just one of those calls that one side loves and one side hates.
Crothers forced a turnover by Thomas, and they're out and running. McCamus going tough to the rim. She's fouled.
Well, I like this for Crothers. This is about 3 possessions in a row now where they've had a change of possession, and they're heading off and running against Durham. So it effectively slows down Durham from running against them, which is where we talked about Durham's strength, but it's also getting Durham a little bit exposed on the back end towards the rim. They're getting some 2-on-1 and odd number situations.
Camus can't get either to drop.
So that was a nice rebound there too. We've praised her for rebounding out of area, tracking things down, but that one was a nice job by holding position, doing it technically sound, getting rebounds in all sorts of ways.
Messam splitting the D. Sees her left hand bounce out. As Crothers is very direct again. It was a great pass. Gucciardi just can't get it to drop. It was a great pass from McCamus.
Yeah, great pass is right. And Crothers is still capitalizing on this, getting on playing transition some right now. So it's a nice look for them. The thing that's happened for Durham a bit is they're still playing with some pace, but what's happening is they've gone from getting good shots and good opportunities and turning them into early shots at the rim to a bit of one-on-one play. And that's no in particular, but it's almost like the whole team's had that feel. So those great opportunities are gone. They've turned into average, and they're just driving into crowds. So they've got to make probably one more pass or get some sort of advantage to get the high-quality shots they're getting in the first quarter back.
Gucciardi gets her second to drop. Looks like Colfix coming in for Chadwick. 16-12 for Durham. We're just 2 minutes into the second quarter here. Crothers forcing the turnover of their own. Open three from the corner. There's Lakey Sora doing what she does so well. Has two possessions now with deflections from Crothers, showing a little bit more assertiveness in the full court. A little bit more confidence.
The aggression has helped. It definitely amped it up. And I've also noticed now King, 2 times now, she's gone left-handed across the floor, which is a really tough pass to make. So, 1, she's had the awareness to see that way, but 2, even the physical tools to make that left-hand cross body is a high-level pass, and has resulted in 1 clean look they had in the first quarter and made one the second. But in the one they missed, as we remember, she got her own offensive rebound, drew a foul as well, too. So, they've both resulted in great shots and great and points, really, for both times. So, Gord, thoughts going into the timeout here for Durham?
Durham's got to get out and run a little bit more. This was successful for them earlier on. Certainly get to the rim. But Crothers doing a good job of checking some of that aggression in the full court, I think. There's the zone look on the press. Certainly giving Durham a little bit more pause for thought.
Yeah, it's been a swing, definitely. Crothers' presence now in the full court has been a swing in what's been happening in this game. I think Durham, one of their other factors, is going to have to be, they're going to have to get out of fouls here a little bit. I know it's easier said than done at times, and you never go through with the intention to foul, but they have to find some ways to stay aggressive and stop fouling, because so many of their possessions end up being out of bounds because they fouled or watching Crothers shoot free throws.
Washington gets one to rattle in.
Sometimes against zone, that's all you need is the first shot to go down and really test what they're going to test their confidence in the zone defense.
And we'll see what Crothers does next time down the floor. There's King getting to the rim. Downs with a deflection out of bounds.
Now, we talked about some of Durham like being okay with taking risks over the top, but there also has to be a limit to it. Like now we've got about 4 passes this quarter where they try to move the ball forward and they've been knocked out of bounds or intercepted. So I think there has to be some awareness of the decision you're making.
There's Moses open in the high post. And Sabri Thomas scoops up an easy putback.
The rebounds are a big factor. They continue to be the story of this game right now, and for the side that I was not predicting before it started. So credit to Durham.
It's a long 2 from Sora, bounces long. Oh, it's going to be a push-off. Downs does such a great job at pestering in the full court.
Does a tremendous job getting her body in front of her, which is what you're getting at too. Because what happens is when you get that contact, there's always a little bit of bumping stuff going on, which is fine, but you get your whole body in front of it to move it, it's going to take some extension from Washington. Once her arm extends off her body, it becomes an easy call for the referee. So great job by Downs putting her body right in the play.
It's King working on Messam. Yeah, held ball. It's going to stay Crothers' possession. 15 seconds on the shot clock.
King does a nice job there with change of pace, a little hesitation, kind of lowering your defender to kind of get her feet to stop moving, and then once that happens, she starts to go again. So a good timeout, or a good sequence since the last timeout for Durham. They came out with a little 5-0 run for themselves. So now I guess question goes back to Bill Crothers and what they're going to do coming out of their timeout to try and change this back the way they had it going.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they choose to stick with the zone in the half court, or if they come back with a little bit more high pressure man, especially with Downs checking back into the game.
Zone defense is always an interesting one. For whatever reason, a lot of teams lose confidence in it. So we talked about that first possession down. Durham didn't really have a great possession. It went 2 passes, went to the wing and right back to the top, so it probably covered a total of 12 feet of distance the ball moved. But then Washington just takes a shot from the top and makes it. So that can be such a deterrent for teams playing zone defense. A lot of times you feel so worried of what's happening with the 3-point shots. If they make their first one, people will get out of it a little bit early. You would like to think the assessment for Crothers is that's not a bad shot. Like, we would like to see Durham have to take that shot all game long.
Similarly, Moses moves so well inside that zone too. She seems to find a lot of soft space. So if it's not Washington at the top, the top of that 2-3 is going to have to be able to check below too and pick up Moses flashing into soft space.
Yeah, great point.
Durham showing his zone. Oh, Sora, the little floater.
I like that. Nice cut on top of Gucciardi. She's down at the block, creating a presence, and just cut on top of her, that space in behind.
There's that Crothers pressure, picking up another turnover. It's Grizzle from downtown. A little short on that one.
Yeah, I give her credit, though. She shot in rhythm. Like, she was feeling it. That was a deep 3, so you catch that one, you shoot it right away. You know the player's feeling it. They have a good rhythm.
It certainly wasn't hesitant. Got Pellington back into the game, too, for Durham. And King guarding her. She gets baseline for a little put.
Nice job. Pellington gets them another shot back at the rim. That's what you're hoping from her. Just brings that athleticism, gets back to the 6 to 7 foot radius of taking shots from when she's in the game.
Sora gets square. Sees her effort just bounce out.
I like that. Well set up play. They got a little pin down the other side of the floor, and she does a nice job of setting it up. Looks like she's kind of running away for a bit before changing speeds to come off that screen.
Absolutely.
A lot of times athletes, especially in the younger ages, will come full speed the whole time they're making their cuts, so the defense gets engaged a little too early.
King finds Grizzle for another 2.
Same spot in that little pocket there behind that front row.
Yeah, Crothers chipping away at this one. Sora with the outlet. King probing. Grizzle chasing down the long rebound. Sora saving that one just back into Deja Moses.
Yeah, the rebounding has looked a lot different now. I got to give credit to Bill Crothers for changing it, and I think the absence of Chadwick and Thomas have also changed it.
Well, it's good movement from Pellington on the baseline, getting behind her defenders.
So we talked about the Pellington shift. I mean, it's going on a couple minutes now that she's been in there, but she's had such an impact. It's going to be interesting to see how long they let her go with 2 fouls.
Gucciardi's getting another look at the front of that rim.
Yeah, she's done a nice job today moving, fighting for position, getting to where she wants the ball, and getting in those spots. What she's missing today just hasn't been able to put any of those things in. So hopefully you go to the free throw line, you can kind of be the great neutralizer. You have a poor night from the floor, but you can get to the free throw line, kind of balance that thing back out.
Yeah, you'd like to see her get rewarded for some of her work inside too.
Absolutely. So see here, Durham 2, 4 minutes to go before halftime. They get one of Chadwick or Thomas back out there. They've been the key to the rebounding catalyst for them. They've really changed what their offensive complexion looks like. I wonder if one of them may come back to allow Pellington to go back to the bench with her 2 fouls.
We have a steal and a steal. Durham turns it over.
And I'm all for the Durham in transition, as we've talked about a couple of times now, but this has really become a bit of a highlight for them. Some of the decisions have got to be starting to rein back in. Like you've now made 5 of these this quarter where they've gotten away from you, so you got to start to know what your limits are, what passes you can make and which passes you can't make.
King getting to the basket, picks up a foul. And she'll go to the line for 2.
King's got a real nice hesitation up here where it's almost more than a hesitation, almost a complete pause, and almost as the defender pauses as well too, and then she goes back at a standing still defender. A lot of hesitations keep people on the move, but she just kind of gets you to freeze your feet, and the way she goes.
She knocks down her first. We see number 22, Zoe Hutchins, is checked in for Durham. And Kyla O'Hara's returned with her. Dawkins rejecting that screen. Got downhill, but she was met by Jenna Golden. 7 on the shot clock. Durham getting that one in. Golden battling for the offensive board.
And Pellington does a great job there. I mean, really great job. Maybe even a little risky, but took her hands out of it, was straight up, so it was a great challenge. But, I mean, at this stage of the game, he might have just preferred she stayed out of it. So credit to her. Great defensive play, stayed out of that foul, and challenged the transition layup.
Cam is doing well to stay in front of Pellington. She's so tough in the air.
Yeah, we talked last week at the game of the week, too, with Pellington, that sometimes a great shot for her is to go right at the defender because she can just go over top of them like that one.
Speaking of going at your defender, Tia Meeser with 2 in reply. Gets Crothers back to within 4. Ball swung to O'Hara. Looks like there was a lot of contact on it. O'Hara picking up a foul. Looks like Justina King's going to get called for it.
Yeah, not a bad foul, in my opinion. Crothers is back. There's a 3-on-1 now. It looked like it was going to be an uncontested layup at one point, and King does a nice job disrupting that, make her go earn 2 from the free throw stripe.
This is something we haven't seen from Durham much this quarter, is getting to the foul line.
Yeah, before Pellington was in the game, Durham settled for a lot of perimeter shots and they had a lot of turnovers. I think when Pellington made her return, they had a lot more going to the rim, so they got some really great shots. Now they got a chance to get one from the rim. They get some a free throw, so this has been a big change for them, Pellington back in, and they've let Pellington play what looks like about 3 minutes so far here in the second quarter and counting.
McCam has shown her ability to get to the rim again. These have been some tough takes by her.
Yeah, she's showed no signs of rust or trepidation here in her return.
Word of the day. Word of the day. She gets a hand to that one. Does a good job to cut her defender off.
I tell you, you know what she's doing that's so tough? When you have some sort of, if there is a limit on her minutes or minute restriction or anything you're supposed to be conscious of on her return to full play protocol, when they play this well and have that kind of impact, it is really tough to respect that limits minute. You just want her on the floor.
She's certainly doing well for herself coming back out too. But as you say, she's going to make it tough for Coach Graham to take her out.
See now if Durham looks for a sub for Pellington, the score is still quite tight. I mean, she gets a make here, maybe chance to put it to 5, but You got 2 minutes left. She got 2 fouls, and you get a chance to escape what was a great shift from her in the second quarter. I mean, credit to her and some very good maturity and something you can build on the playoffs, but no sense risking or exposing her for this last 2 minutes. Will be under 2 minutes now, the next whistle.
Neeser probing at the top, comes off the wing. She's got Crothers back to within 2, 29-27.
Neeser's done a real nice job of getting her shot attempts down about that inside line. So you talk about foul line and take another step in. She's about there getting her shot attempts, and she's been converting those. It's a high percentage shot.
The crowd's getting into this one now. Good help from Golden. There's an offensive board to Zoe Hutchins.
And that's the shot I think Crothers wants to force Pellington into. Force her to take a pull-up with some defense and a challenge in front of her.
But at the same time, it's hard to work. It's difficult to work that hard in the half court and not get rewarded for it.
I'm going to assume there's about a minute left here, so Pellington's third foul. I'm going to assume one of these subs was for her before the foul. Definitely is for her now after the foul, and it's just unfortunate. I think, Durham would have loved to have gotten Pellington out before picking up that foul, then on a back cut with 2 fouls. So it's a bit of a lesson. So I was actually praising her at the last stoppage, saying great job getting through the quarter and what a lesson learned. You can build on this, but now you got to hope the lessons learned from. You got to let that back cut go. It is the second quarter. The 2 points are big. They are big. They're always big, but your foul is probably even more important. So now her going with 3 makes this a really tough fourth quarter. And what's changed, like from Pellington's lens that I think a lot of people don't appreciate, is now she can't be that same defender or take the chances that make her so great. So you can still play her. This isn't going to limit your playing time. That's what people look at. But you can't take the same gambles or not with the same confidence that you typically would. And she makes so much out with her athleticism, but now she's to rein it in. So it impacts the whole third quarter, I think, because of that foul.
It's a tough finish from Thomas, picking up the N1.
Yeah, my fault. I kind of talked a little long-winded in the last one, but great return from Thomas. She's been great on the glass. This is nice to see her in transition getting to the rim.
Looks like it was number 20, Jenna Golden, picking up the foul on that one.
And the one from Thomas is big, too, because you get a little down. I was a little down. Pellington picked up our third foul. Might have been felt by some others on Durham, so it's nice to get something going right back to the rim and kind of get your focus back on what's happening. So you like to see that. Anything that goes against you at one point, that you get out the next play and go right back to what you're trying to do. So we're going to get about a minute coming out of this thing for Crothers now. They're going to have a chance here, really try and push it. They might try and get 3 possessions out of this, depending on what they get coming out of the timeout. But most likely, you come down and get yourself a real good 2-for-1, and that's probably what they're talking about in the timeout right now. What they want to establish on this first possession, because you can control that. You have a lot of time. What action are you going to run? What are you looking for? Come back, have a real good defensive possession, then end with the ball in your hands.
And you feel both coaches are probably pointing out the foul count on this one, too, when it comes to your shot selection. So we'll see if both teams can be a little bit more assertive on their takes to the rim and force the referees to make some calls in the last 60 seconds here.
Yeah, agreed. I think it would be both will probably be disappointed if they're taking something from perimeter before exploring what's going on inside. And both these teams have people that can make shots from perimeter, but you would like to see if you just explored the other area first, see what the defense does, then take those ones.
So we'll see what both coaches have come up with here. It's going to be Thomas at the line, shooting her and 1. Durham up 33-28 here with 57 seconds left before half. She's able to convert. Stretches the Durham lead to 6. Charlotte Clayton checking in here for the last minute. Oh, Meeser getting to the rim again.
Yeah,
she's really asserted herself pretty well here in this quarter.
She had a very effective quarter, real good second quarter for her.
O'Hara sees her post-entry attempt bounce out of bounds here.
The first possession may have gone a little bit quicker than Crothers would have liked, but that's fine. You take it for a high-quality shot. You always take the great shot over time. Trust your defense in the back end. But now I think if you can, you'll take as much time on this possession as well to make sure you really limit what Durham has to work with.
Speaking of going right at it, is Downs off the wing.
Yeah, always take the great shot. You get that, you got to take that first.
Grizzle with the steal. Five seconds on the shot. O'Hara from the corner. Oh, that's a tough one to give up right before half.
Oh,
You do all that work, and O'Hara has undone it.
yeah, great finish there for Crothers. I mean, you get the two possessions, two great shots. The first one just doesn't roll, unfortunately. You get the steal. That one just doesn't go. And you come down, a nice little recap or bounce back from Durham to hit a corner three. So both teams do well.
So with that, Durham's heading into the break with a 37-30 lead. And we will be back shortly.
We have Basketball Ontario behind-the-scenes crew has put together a little highlight package for us here at halftime, so we'll turn it over to them.
Lincoln Prep's Emily Martindale. So just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the game. So the last time you guys played Bill Crothers was a different outcome and they beat you. What were the adjustments you had to make coming into tonight's game?
I think when we were coming into this game, we were just like more focused. Like we wanted to be mentally sound, and on our defense, we just didn't want to get any like easy buckets like they did last time.
You had a great individual performance. You really provided a lot of energy for your team by getting your hand on a lot of loose balls, offensive rebounds. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
I think it was just instead of boxing out, I was just boxing out the other players and getting the boards easily and tracking down the ball and just attacking the basket like when I got the chance every time.
Now, as the inaugural season of the OSBA really comes to an end, what are some focal points for your team?
Well, a focal point would obviously be winning the championship, but I think just getting better as a team and communicating offense and definitely more offensive and defensive rebounds.
Congrats on the win, Em, and continue the good work.
Thank you.
Liana Say checking in here. We have Justina King, who scored 18 points in a losing effort today to Lincoln Prep. Justina, talk to us about what the game plan was.
We definitely knew that Lincoln Prep was definitely a team that would be a very hustly team. They would get all the 50-50 balls. We knew that we really had to push, and they outworked us in that aspect of the game. So that was one thing that we definitely came into the game knowing that we had to do, but didn't execute it ourselves. Well, we have some very key players missing on our team, but in practice it's kind of tough because we have a lot of less numbers, so we're doing a couple 4-on-4s, so not a lot of gameplay, but we're trying our best to do everything that we can to prepare for games with what we have.
I wanted to say congratulations on your invitation to Canada Basketball's March Camp. How has playing for Jody Graham, one of our national team coaches, helped you prepare for that?
It's definitely very helpful. She's taught me so much about the different style of play, like coming from different coaches. So her style of play is really helping me develop into the Canada basketball style.
Okay, good luck in your tryouts, and forward to seeing you for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Junior, you guys pulled this one out over the Vaughan Voyagers, 105-88. How do you feel coming after this one?
We all executed. We played great defense as a team, and we just all worked harder and we put out the win.
You are known around the league as the triple-double machine. You fell just short here tonight, 17 points, 6 and 7. How do you do it?
I just work hard and do what coach tells me and get my teammates open shots, and they do the rest.
All right, now your team, again, like I mentioned, scored 105 points. A lot of your guys in double digits tonight. Who came out to play?
We all came out to play. You know, coach makes us run hard in practice, so as soon as we get the ball, we just push the break and everyone gets the opportunities.
You guys had a lot of your bench players play a lot of minutes for you today. Let's talk about them for a second. Guys like Brett, guys like Thomas and Julian.
Just young guys learning the system. You know, they're going to be great in a couple of years when we leave, so we got to get them in early so when it's their time to be the starters, they'll be ready to put us on the map.
All right, you got another game of the week. You guys next week against Father Henry Carr. What are we going to expect to see?
We're going to work hard and hopefully pull out the W like usually.
All right, congratulations for tonight.
So we're back here with second half action at Bill Crothers Secondary, beautiful Unionville, Ontario.
Yeah, the first half shaped out the way we thought a lot of it would. A great back and forth battle. Both teams had little mini runs at different times. No one's really exerted on a big 10 to 12 point run yet that the other teams had to respond to. So I expect more of the same, just exchanging blows in the second half. And what's very pivotal playoff battle here, playoff seeding battle, coming down the wire of the OSBA.
It'll be Crothers to start the second half. Justina King getting herself into a little bit of trouble there.
We talked about Pellington picking up her third foul there at the end of the first half, but Durham showing full confidence in her decision-making, staying out of trouble, putting her on Justina King to start the second half. So she's going to be involved in a lot of actions where the basketball is.
Washington finding herself in a bit of a post-up situation. Turnover by Deja Moses there. Getting called for the carry.
Yeah, what happened for Washington on the earlier ones, there probably were some people on the other side of her, but she got bumped on the catch. Not implying foul, but just that didn't have her balance underneath her anymore, and she never got back to that to pivot and see the other sides of the floor.
I think there we can see the hesitancy by Shayna Pellington as Justina King gets to the rim for two. I think that's going to be the situation that Coach Graham puts her in. Pellington sees her attempt bounce short. King picks up the turnover. There's a long two from Lakey Sora in transition. Charlotte Clayton just turned her head there for a split second.
Yeah, it looked like a little miscommunication. It looked like she thought she was funneling Washington into somebody, then she looked up and nobody was there, and she was kind of left out on an island. She was in a less than ideal position to guard the ball one-on-one. It truly looked like she was expecting someone else to be there, but as she looked, there was no one there.
Steve, you talked about trading blows, and that's exactly how we've opened the third quarter here.
The King-Pellington matchup, that continues to be a matchup. It's going to be really interesting to watch.
Good ball reversal to King. Little long. Lakey Sora is there to pick up the rebound on the weak side.
Crothers does a nice job there being on the weak side of the rim. Whenever you run a set play, you should know the shot's coming from, so you want to get your rebounders in position early.
Not sure if they called a three on that one.
Ball movement was great, though. Crothers got like that. They got all the way down to the rim. They got kicked out there on a stoppage. It got reversed around to find the shooter. So the patience and the ball movement create great shots. The crowd's erupted, so you can tell people are liking it.
Absolutely. Looks like they've called it a long 2.
We're going to get a timeout here for Durham. I think they just want to stop a little bit what's going down at this end because Crothers now has had back-to-back great looks from 3, made one, missed one, but they've also had the rebounders in position on both shots. So they got one, the one they missed, they collected the offensive rebound for an easy putback. But even the one they made, they had bodies all around there. And I think Durham's taking a quick pause here to make sure people are engaged in the rebounding aspect and make sure they're not getting pulled out of position what's happening to create these shots. They're around the rebound.
Crothers has worked this lead back to within 3, single possession.
This game has never really tilted too far one side or the other. Doesn't really feel like it's about to change anytime soon either. So it's, I mean, great basketball is exactly what we tuned into for the OSBA down the stretch.
Looks like Bill Crothers is going to stay with their full court look. See if they can't force Durham into a few more mental lapses, some rush passes perhaps. Washington gets to the rim pretty easily and sees her attempt bounce out. O'Hara used her length pretty well there to force that turnover.
That was a pretty good trip last time down for Durham. They're probably happy with that.
It's a great find. Really well worked. Chadwick for the easy 2 at the front of the rim. Charlotte Clayton's attempt from the corner bounces out.
I tell you, King's just a very, you like that as your lead guard. She's the ability to go score. She's found those opportunities, but she finds people when they're open.
Pellington hangs in the air for 2.
This is the exchange you want to watch here. You get King and Pellington going back and forth, making things happen. It's pretty exciting.
Grizzle gets baseline. She's looking for Golden. Can't find her. Ball's picked up by Washington. Pellington for the easy 2.
Nice pickup by Washington. A lot of people could have let that roll out of bounds. That would have been Durham's ball, but Washington saw the chance to get numbers going for them, capitalize on their athleticism. So real nice job picking that one up and converting it.
Clayton pulls up short for 2. Ball's out of bounds. It's going to be Durham ball. And just like that, Durham's back up 9.
And that's a good shot. Sometimes it's like tough. You want to evaluate. I mean, the going in, missing, those things are always obviously big outcomes to a game, but you want to evaluate the process to get there. And if you're going to face pressure, and you can come down a 2-1, get one of your shooters to walk into a pull-up jumper from that range, you got to like that. It's a good quality shot.
Moses using her strength to get to the basket and 1.
Yeah, you nailed that one. If you can have that matchup, the strength Moses has going straight down. On Sora was having a brain freeze there, but if you get the size on Sora and the strength to get her going downhill like that, you just want to continue to go, force the defender to try and step in there and get ahead of you, which they typically can't. So they're going to be beside you, and then that contact's going to be disadvantage.
There's an offensive board by Chadwick. Gets a second look at it. Can't get it to drop. And King's out and running. Looks like she shuffled her feet there.
Chadwick's just created a lot of possessions for them. She's created a lot of possessions on the offensive glass. She's created a lot of possessions in pressure. She created some possessions on the cuts. I think she's just been an unsung hero for Durham here today a little bit. Unsung by others. I've clearly been singing her praises.
It's going to be a timeout, Bill Crothers. Returning the favor from Durham shortly.
And stretching this one to 11 is about as big as it's been all day. So this will be a nice little test for Crothers because now you get to, you know what's been successful in the first half, and I'm sure those pieces, some of their pressure and that they're going to go back to, but you would love for it to be on your terms of when you go back to those things if you're Coach Graham. But now this kind of gets to that stage. You get 16 minutes to go, 11 points, So you got to start to dig in. Do we go back to what's been really great and show it this early, which means we may not be able to use it for the entire 16 minutes, or are we still trying to hold it? Can we get ourselves close enough that we hold it for the fourth quarter? So we get a little bit of that chess match going now too, and I think Durham, on the other hand, they've clearly talked about the chance they get. It appears to be a focus.
And she does. O'Hara's long shot bounced out. Chadwick for another look. There's Moses, a three, bounce out. No foul called there on O'Hara. King gets to the rim. Looks like Sabri Thomas is going to get called for the reach.
Yeah, this Durham lineup produces 2 more offensive rebounds at their end. They couldn't get out of it to go, and almost a bit of a surprise. When you get two shots out inside the paint like that, you'll find a lot of teams starts to crowd forward. That led to the Ligo chance for Crothers. They did a nice job. King does a real nice job of identifying that and attacking the closeout as opposed to letting Durham get back.
The number 11, Mia Soares, checked in for her sister. King hits from the line. Brings the Durham lead back to 12. Just over 5 minutes left here in the third quarter.
Both teams still in striking distance.
It's like Crothers is trying to slow down Durham a little bit with their half-court look. First defensive possession forces a turnover. Durham's going to have another look here in the half-court.
Remember in the first half, Durham faced the zone, Washington the 3 from the top and kind of ended that a little abruptly.
Pellington gets in the lane again.
This time looked the same zone or player to player. Pellington just continues to get in there.
Messam delays and shoots the pass. The Soares come off the weak side for the block.
Well, that was a great play, a great hustle to get back into that one too, because it looked a bit like Messam didn't realize she was there. It started to coast a little bit, so the extra effort caught up to that play and got a chance to knock it out of bounds. Messam made a great steal, got them the possession, but probably let up a step on the finish.
Yeah, she's going to want that one back. O'Hara, a little quick with the feet. Getting called for the travel. So we're in a bit of a flurry on turnovers here.
Not necessarily a tipping point yet for Crothers, but definitely some cause for concern. You don't want this to go too much further. You want to get this back to ideally single digits before the end of this quarter. So you go 4 minutes now, it's just a ton of time, but you don't want it to go the other way over these next 4 minutes.
Meisers shuffles her feet. Right now, both teams trading turnovers. Gucciardi checking back in for Jenna Golden. Crothers pretty active in that zone. Pellington, same look again.
If Pellington's going to make that, it's going to be tough. Not that it's a bad shot. I mean, it's just so tough to defend. The ability to pull up and get in the air like she can off one dribble, that was just big-time basketball.
Keontae Downs doing a good job of getting around her defender. Can't get her look to finish. It's going to be McCamus checking back in for her. Pellington going off for Kishana Washington.
Yeah, great shift for Pellington. I have personally worried about the 3 fouls for a long time, but clearly it's been a non-issue for her. She does a great job playing with it. Now she's back to normal range. You can see her aggression level go back up now next time she comes on the floor.
McCamus getting a look right away. O'Hara doing a great job of cutting right down the seam.
Yeah, nice pass to hit the cutter too, but good awareness of hardest getting to the spot. You get that on the rim, on the move towards the rim, it's always going to be a great finish.
Gucciardi just can't get these to drop tonight.
Yeah, it's too bad because I agree. I think she's had a pretty good night. She's gotten to some really good spots. She's been in the right position, right area. She's been physical for them. She just can't get the ball to go in.
And you feel this is going to be a really good matchup for her, too. Kalfik's a bit younger. Let's see if Gucciardi can exert some influence on her.
Turnovers right into your own rim are always so deflating.
The long 2 from Messam.
That neutralizes the turnover.
We are using the dotted arc today. Good offensive board and putback from King. Showing her athleticism.
Crothers still just trying to hang around right now. You just got to stay in this thing till you can make a little bit of a run. And good ball pressure. I mean, if you're Bill Crothers right now, you're going to take some of those. You want to come out there, you want to challenge us a bit. You're trying to make some things happen. 16 points, about 12 and a half to go. You got to start to take some chances and see if you can disrupt some. So you're going to be fine with those, especially when it's only 3. You're not even in bonus. Take some chances, try and make some things happen.
Downs doing a good job on O'Hara in the corner. Not giving her any space. They're going to have about 2 seconds on the shot clock to get a look here.
Yeah, that disruption plays into this, and now you're going to have a lower quality shot because of the one-on-one defense.
Washington gets it away, and it's just bounced out and falls to her. Thomas from the wing. Looks like there's a foul underneath.
And that is just too bad for Crothers. We talked about the great possession before. You force Washington to take up a desperation shot, basically. Washington does a nice job getting to the rim, but you just feel for Crothers in that scenario. You force up, you want to get that rebound, it gets punched back out. Washington collects it again, and now you've drawn a foul. So Crothers does the primary job, but didn't finish it off.
King forcing the steal there. Kalfik picking up the block there.
Kalfik does a nice job coming to that one and challenging the ball at the release point. So she doesn't go towards the offensive player, doesn't put herself in a position to foul, just goes where the ball will be in the air. She had King a bit by surprise and didn't go for a big flashy play, just made sure she got the shot deterred.
Yeah, she did a great job of not swinging at the ball. She's not going to be so lucky on that one. She gets called for the hit. Number 23, Tia Meeser is going to the line.
Meeser might be the one they need to get going here a little bit. They're going to need a little bit of offense now. You get to 16 points, just under 12 minutes to go now. Meeser might be the one that can inject some of that for them. Someone's going to make some shots for them at this stage now.
Yeah, especially after her second quarter, too. You feel that she is capable of coming out with a little bit more in the last 12 minutes here.
Absolutely.
Durham's out and running again. Gucciardi doing a good job of getting a hand to it. Messam picking up the block.
Like this decision by King. She gets the hand on it. There's clearly people ahead of her, and a lot of times you want your guard to move the ball forward. There's an opportunity, but really the defense was in this middle third of the floor. So if King could have beat 1 or 2, she was going to open up much more space for those in the front court. So I think it was the right move for her to put that down and start to go, and then it drew a foul. I think it was a very savvy play.
Coach Neo Jukins bringing back Shayna Pellington. Oh, you got an and one. There's McCamus again. Going tough to the rim.
That's a big hoop. They needed a score to turn into an and one like that the old-fashioned way. That's just great.
We'll see if this can be a bit of a momentum changer in the last 90 seconds here for Crothers. Heading into the fourth with a bit of momentum.
Yeah, that would be nice. It'd be good to build on this. McCamus gets one going to the rim, going to get a chance at a free throw and a three-point play, but now to parlay that into the final 90 seconds of maybe some, even a +2, +4 over the span would be a nice building block for the fourth quarter.
So she hits the follow-up. 57-44 for Durham. Good hesitation by Washington into the lane again. It's going to be Hennessy Lou Brown bringing the ball up the floor for Crothers. You see King was looking for Gucciardi again there. She did a great job of skating underneath.
Yeah, and I've loved King's passing all game. That was the first one that I thought might have been very optimistic. What she thought might have happened from that one. It would have been very pinpoint to have a good result.
Gucciardi unlucky again.
It's too bad. It's another great shot for them.
But to their credit, they're still going back to her too.
Yeah, I mean, if she could just get going, get a couple of these things that start to fall even later, we'll forget all the earlier things. She's played well, just hasn't had the finish yet.
McCamus doing a great job on Pellington to take her out of the play. We had travel call.
Yeah, one of the things for Chadwick on that one is I think when she first got the ball, she wasn't thinking that she was going to have to shoot, so she was in a totally different stance than she would be otherwise. So she was pretty upright, and when she started to have to make something happen and pivot, she was doing it from a less athletic stance than if she was down, so it made it really difficult to get herself squared and get something off.
Pellington leading the break this time. It's the ball back at the top. We got kick ball. A pretty well worked back cut.
Well set up, good pass to take. Could be a big possession here for Crothers. They need one stop and a score would really help them what they're trying to build on here the last 2 minutes like we talked about.
It's pretty good execution on that one. It's an easy two from Chadwick. Such a tough one, like you say, to give up for Crothers. Long three attempt, bounces out. That's going to end the third quarter, 59-44 in favor of Durham.
Yeah, and after I think the final 8 minutes, we had roughly a 20-8 run there for Durham. So it's just starting to go there a little bit now for Bill Crothers, and they're going to have a big fourth quarter to get themselves back to striking distance in this game. And it's too bad, even that last possession kind of summed up right what we were talking about. You missed by a couple inches trying to get that Chadwick pass, resulted in her getting an open, uncontested layup behind everybody and come down the other way in King's rush. Just that little bit of pressure you feel when things get to this level score, and it's just a little bit heavy for her coming out. So 10 minutes to go. We're going to have to assume the Crothers are going to have to pull tricks out of the bag here to start the quarter. You got to do something almost at the beginning of this quarter just to get something going for you. You can't save anything at this point. So whatever you think is going to start to chip away and then make an adjustment later on. And we'll refer to that. Like a lot of times you say, well, we'd like to come out and press, but it's pretty rare you can get away with doing that for the entire 10 minutes and having success. But they'll probably have to start with it and just figure out plan B is whatever else they have in the bag.
Yeah, you get the feeling if Crothers can string together a few possessions here, 10 minutes is a lot of time to play with still.
10 minutes is definitely time. I agree with that. 10 minutes is definitely time. What their challenge has been is getting some sort of consistency in their scoring. They've had a lot of droughts tonight where they've been pretty good, and then the next 3 or 4 minutes they'll get 2 or 4 points. And I think that's the part they're going to have to overcome that here to come back in this game with only 10 minutes to go.
Agreed. It'll be Crothers' possession here. We start the fourth quarter. Meeser to initiate the offense. She gets around Washington. Gets another good look at it. Can't get it to drop. Those are some of the heartbreaking ones for Crothers tonight.
Yeah, they've had some better shots than the results have shown for them. But at this stage, as we talked about at the beginning here, and all those become so big now. You can't leave very many points on the floor. You get a good shot, they're going to have to make most of them in this fourth quarter.
Here's Gucciardi ripping one down.
Yeah, great rebound. You like that she's getting her space. You are responsible for your elbows once you get up over your head, though. So now, and Cliff Dawkins on the way down.
Looked a bit sore.
Yeah, glad it wasn't me.
Washington doing a good job of attacking the closeout. Can't get it to drop. There's Gucciardi picking up her second board of the quarter.
Might get them started. If Gucciardi can continue to have this impact on the glass, it'll give Crothers a chance to get out and running and hopefully some better quality shots in transition.
Ball skipped to Washington, who looks inside to Moses. A soft touch with the left hand.
Great job by Pellington. She gets at the half there and is like takes her time as if she's going to hit that reversal pass and just waits for the defense to shrink. Then skips it right over top of her own player to the next pass, and that's what created the cutting lane for Moses to go down. So great play.
Downs his baseline, but she steps on the line.
You can see now Pellington has started to pick it up again a bit with her ball pressure. The freedom now of not having the foul situation looming on top of her. And that's a big factor for Durham as well, too. So Crothers are going to try and mount some scoring here. Durham having Pellington back for the ball pressure piece of it's going to cause some disruption.
Dawkins with the ball up top. She's got Washington on the back door. She gets called for the travel.
So every possession is starting to become huge here for Crothers. This game is starting to slide a little bit, so everyone becomes so big.
Chadwick really battling inside with Gucciardi here. Not going to give her that space easily. Gucciardi stripped from behind. Yes, Sora from outside for the three ball.
That was a good persistence basket. Gucciardi stuck with it. I thought that Crothers was active in there. They got about 2 tips or 2 blocks that went against them, but they stuck with that one. Then finally, when you get that many deflected balls, you'll find somebody open.
Pellington's fouled by King. We'll see if Bill Crothers can get Lakey Sora open for a few more of those.
Yeah, they're going to want to build on that last possession. It's too bad for the foul down here. It would have been really great for them to get a stop and to see if it starts to increase momentum, which is always a funny thing in basketball. It does seem to have its effect. So, not that this neutralizes it all, but they have to continue to build on what was good in that last one. Ball got inside of the rim. They continue to move until they found a good shot.
Chadwick out of nowhere with the board. Can't get her left hand to drop. Moses is battling for another look. Pellington mid-range can't get it to drop.
I apologize. I didn't see the call. There's obviously some contention from the crowd, which is very normal for the crowd to dislike the calls of the referee.
It looks like they called it on Justina King, but I'm not quite sure if it was a box out situation on the weak side. Downs gets called for the foul here. To put Dawkins on the line for 2.
Yeah, Dawkins did a nice job there. She played a little decoy. Like, looked like she was going to go one direction and was going at, probably at 60% speed, then came back this one on a much harder cut. And I think that was just enough to create the window to get the pass in there. So it was also a nice pass. That drew the foul because the defense wasn't totally shook, just enough separation to draw the foul.
Coach Graham's looking for some clarification here from the official as well. Dawkins goes 1 of 2 from the line, and Moses keeps it alive for another look.
So his possession extends on free throws being rebounded.
It's a good kick to the corner. Dawkins 3 bounces out to Meeser. Finds Sora on the wing. Her 3 won't drop. It's going to stay Crothers' ball.
Good look there for Crothers in transition. They find their shooter. Had her some space. She got a good clean shot off.
Yeah, you don't fault Sora for taking that one.
No, they probably need it. You're absolutely right. They probably need that one right now. They need those to go.
Just over 7 minutes left in the 4th.
Durham really put the pressure on last time. We thought they were trying to build some momentum, but Durham really sucked that out the last time down. They missed a couple free throws, but rebounded their own misses and just dragged that possession on.
And there we go. Good look inside to Gucciardi for the finish.
Yeah, continue to do the work before she's catching the ball, so it's nice to see her get a finish. See if they can build on some of that.
Pellington proving tough in the full court. So Hara with a long 2. Ripped down by Meeser.
Crothers got the quick shot they want, though. Now they need a good shot.
Long 2 won't drop. Not afraid to pop the second one. Good old board. There's Gucciardi starting to pick it up.
Getting her going a bit. So they got 3 good shots in that possession. We said they got the bucket last time. They get a quick shot from Durham. Then they come back down. They convert through 3 great shots.
They've cut the lead to 4 possessions now.
At least these can come quickly. So, I mean, if you get a chance now just to get a stop, something gets back to single digits looking or even 10, starts to look like a game again real quick, and you feel like confidence grow.
Oh, you defend so well for 23 seconds, and that one goes down.
Oh, Thomas, that's a great finish, too.
We got a turnover on the inbounds.
That one from Thomas going against defense underneath the arm, too, just to get the shot even quicker. The scoop just got out of her hand right to the glass. Good finish.
I think you got to have a short memory on the defensive possession, not allowed to affect your inbounds.
Yeah. Every possession is still so big for Crothers, so you're absolutely right. You can't get distracted by one thing not going right, because one thing that rarely happens in basketball are the 14-0 runs. This is more like a bigger score has to happen. It's going to involve some good and some bad throughout it, but you have to have more positives. You can't waste your offensive possessions.
You can see Crothers is still looking for Gucciardi in there. Sees it roll out of bounds. Pellington finds O'Hara in the corner. She's looking for Hutchins inside.
That's good vision from Pellington. She found the right spot, and she's done a nice job finding O'Hara in that corner a couple times. That pass in particular was a little low. Probably not able to shoot that one, but the vision and the location of the pass was right. Right spot, right person.
And Pellington picks up the foul.
I like that by Durham. They run a little action there, and what it does against the zone just isolates Pellington on the 5 with Gucciardi in this situation. And that's, I mean, when you get your best athlete in space with the other team set, it's a great spot to attack one-on-one, and she has the space to do it in that set. That was nicely run.
And certainly the ability to get up over top. She gets her first to roll in.
Well, Crothers is really going to need here too, and they've had some really good shots, so you don't want to change anything that's going on, but you do want some stuff going to the rim, see if you can get some fouls. It'd be nice to shoot bonus to help chip away at a lead like this. It's tough to make it all in jumpers. They don't have Durham for a foul yet this quarter.
Durham just winning the second and third looks. It's really eating into the clock left over.
much like how this game started, Durham's back to dominating the offensive glass. And in the first quarter, we talked about how Crothers was a bit lucky to escape, allowing that offensive rebounding for Durham and not be really penalized, but it's mounting on them a bit here in the second half.
A little bit of a miscommunication there by Durham.
Yeah, really unique. The pass actually came in and hit a couple people's legs. Seemed like nobody was quite sure where that pass was going to go.
A bit uncharacteristic. They haven't really struggled with it all game. Hennessy Lou Brown to the rim. A little direct offense.
Yeah, you need quick scores like that. Ryan does a nice job there too, because she gets around the defense, but she's actually, to turn that corner, she was pretty deep, so had to come back to her left hand upon the glass. That was a nice finish, a little nicer than it might have looked on first glance.
Looks like Tia Meeser may have stepped on a foot there. She's down in some pain.
Yeah, I didn't see the play, but it was definitely around the crowd here where the turnover happened. So you had some bodies changing direction and up in the air. So there was some commotion happening. And you're probably right, once you land on somebody, it's less likely when everyone's predictable, but you get a change of possession like that and things get a little predictable around you.
Durham's into the last 5 minutes here, holding on to a 66-53 lead.
And for their part, they deserve credit, and you touched on it a bit earlier. They're doing a nice job of eating up some of the clock. So every time you get an offensive rebound, every time you get a tip or keep possessions alive, that just takes one less possession away from what Crothers has now to chip away at this lead. Crothers has had some real great possessions where they've been quick, getting down, getting shots off, but it's going to have to continue. And as we touched on at the start of the quarter, with 13 points now, 5 is to go, they have to convert almost every opportunity they have to get back and win this game.
I feel Durham's done a really good job of sort of staving off some of these Bill Crothers runs as well. It's intermittent periods of time where Crothers are able to put together 2 or 3 good possessions in a row.
Over the course of this game, the rebounding has probably been the biggest factor. It allowed Durham to withstand probably a poor shooting first quarter for themselves. They get so many opportunities on the offensive glass, and now if they're starting to make some shots, they're getting these offensive rebounds. It's very deflating to anything positive Crothers gets building in their direction.
Absolutely.
I thought for Crothers, one of the keys for them this game was going to be the rebounding. Switching that in their favor would have been one of their keys to success. And I also thought they had the opportunity to wear on Durham a bit over 40 minutes to put some bodies and bang into people. And it seems like it just took a little bit of time before they really got to that state. And I don't know that's really lasted for them over the course of an entire quarter.
It's certainly shown a few good possessions defensively where they've managed to put some good ball pressure on Durham, force them to take some last-second shots or late clock looks. Just haven't been able to do it consistently all game, though.
Yeah, and the backbreaker to that is when you have great possessions and then a tip out or an offensive rebound goes against you, it can be just so deflating because a lot of their first possession defense has been pretty solid. It's the second chances that have worn on them. out of my realm, but watching the assessment here, it looks like they weren't fully confident in a couple areas to allow Meiser to put weight back on that. So it's not out of the woods yet of being okay. Could be a tough little injury for her, which would be a big blow for Crothers here down the stretch as well. If she's going to miss any amount of, well, all time is pretty significant at this stage of the year with so little left. But she's definitely requiring some help to get off. So that's going to be something of vast importance for Crothers going down the stretch.
He's sore over the timeline, finds Grizzle on the wing. Pellington showing her athleticism, forcing that deflection.
Yeah, she's doing a long way up to take away that passing lane.
Durham looking for that high pick, and then you see the slip there. You wonder if that was something they just talked about, trying to catch the cheater on the hedge.
Yeah, the flip of that, you got Pellington a little upset here. I guess she didn't agree with the carry call. But what happened is she got a little engaged now with the referee. She ends up making a great play down here because of her athleticism, but she's forced to make a great play because she was late getting back to her defensive assignment. So you got to, even when things don't go your way, to check on what the next piece is, next responsibility.
It's Grizzle with a long two. Bounces out, falls to Moses. Pellington slowing things up a little bit here, and no rush.
Yeah, rightfully so. They control the clock right now. It's definitely on their side. The only thing you don't want to do really is that.
I think Pellington was putting Deja Moses in a tough spot, heading that far away from the rim. Coach Neo Jukins reinforcing she needs the ball caught a little bit closer to the arc, not to force the wing entry. It's a good look.
Yeah, they got the one they wanted again. Another great shot.
An easy two on the other end from Pellington.
And she makes it look easy. Pellington, nice catch and transition to her right hand, just extends out.
Justina King with a good answer.
I felt like Gucciardi was actually back on that one from Pellington, like in the area where it would challenge a lot of people. Pellington just like soars up there. She makes it look so easy.
Moses can't get enough on her left hand there. O'Hara's going to get called for the block.
Nice job by King again. I like her feel for this when she gets the change of possessions here in the backcourt to take on that first defense at a disadvantage. Talked about it a bit earlier too. Just eliminate that first layer of defense, then you make the pass ahead and give an advantage in the front court. Justina King does a real nice job of that.
Deja Moses with another rebound. Now the game kind of ending the way it started for Durham, getting these transition looks. Sora can't hit from the corner, but hot spot rebound.
Yeah, nice foul by King. Crothers has gotten some looks here. They've had some inside there during the second and third quarter, and they've gotten some three-point shots here in the fourth too. Just can't seem to get anything to go today.
Second chance here from Washington. Chadwick looking to get downhill on Gucciardi. A little negative step back. Deja Moses turned the ball over. We're into the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, Crows really need some shots to fall now. These things are still possible, but now need to string some things together.
It's a long two.
It's a good start for it, though.
Lead down to 11 with 1:40 left.
Durham playing good control here right now. You got to stay aggressive. You want to make sure you're still running good offense and getting good shots. You don't want to become complacent, but you also don't need to rush.
Good patience there from Washington. Get the ball reversed. O'Hara gets downhill with her left hand. We got a timeout coming. Bill Crothers. Minute 21 left.
You know, the O'Hara scoop was a nice one there too. I mean, she's got a nice long stride, so you go shot fake, one dribble lift from the top, and take that stride. And the left-hand scoop's a really tough shot to challenge because you've been out there challenging her at the three-point line where she's proven she can make it. Trying to race to the rim's a long way to go to cover ground. So 13 points for Crothers now. They're going to they take the timeout, try and get themselves hopefully a great shot out of this set play. Get something going towards the rim, something they score. And then the key is you get a score and you got to do something now, I'm assuming pressure-wise, trying to create some sort of turnover or increase pace, trying to make sure that Durham can't just eat away the clock in the next little bit.
Certainly the foul situation might help Crothers, though, if they get into a position where they might be able to extend the game a little bit here. But Crothers looking for that early three. It's going to be Grizzle with a long two. Bounces out, rebound to O'Hara. King with the tip steal. Charlotte Clayton from the corner. Going to be a long two.
That's a well-earned hoop, though. They come out with the set play, do a nice job of Grizzle coming across the floor, get her a good look. They get a rebound, they save it. They get an extra pass from King down to the corner.
You see Coach Graham's got her shooters on.
Yeah,
Charlotte Clayton to the mix with Lakey Sora.
And a unique time for basketball when you get down to the last couple of minutes of the timeouts and the stoppages and the substitution rules that apply under FIBA rules. You get a chance now to almost play some players that you feel give you a good offensive matchup and a good defensive matchup. So Crothers can't risk too much of their offensive presence because you never know what's going to happen if it stays a live ball and they need the scoring. But Durham can play around that a little bit now. Play some people that think get them stops, or in this case maybe somebody thinks get them a score or something inside to get to the free throw line.
Absolutely. Now we got about 61 seconds for a little gamesmanship here. We'll see how coaches want to play this one out.
So in Durham here, the key is to make sure you don't have anything. You don't want the pass to be coming towards half. You don't want it going towards the middle of the floor. You got to run some actions that either get something towards the rim where you have a chance to defend anything poorly going, or towards the strong corner down here where, again, if the worst case scenario happens, you've got all 5 of your defenders on the right side of the basketball.
I think we saw the last possession, Durham came down the floor and they started running a lot more handoff rather than looking for pass entries. So maybe just trying to protect the ball a little bit against Crothers' pressure.
Right.
Also did a pretty good job making sure they had that high post pressure release as well. So certainly have enough to maintain control of this last minute. McCann is forcing the turnover. Downs from the wing, can't get it to drop. We have a jump ball call. It's going to be Durham ball.
That was about what you would draw up if you were Crothers, though. You get a steal on the inbound pass, you come down, you get a good look at a three. And coming back from double digits is always tough in the last couple minutes, and everything to go, so that's what this one looks like, but it was pretty well executed.
Durham opting not to take the timeout here. Could use some ball movement to burn a few more seconds off the clock there.
Yeah, you always want that. the same time, you always appreciate when the athletes are unsure of a pass to just make sure you swallow it and ensure that you can draw the foul. So in an ideal world, you would have been a little more aware before the ball gets to you. You're ready for what the next pass is. But when you get stuck, take the foul, keep possession. Paladin did a nice job of catching that one on the run near half. And when she turned downstream, that's what created the advantage. So the ball movement had to keep going to keep that advantage, avoid the foul.
Washington hits both from the line, pushing the lead back up to 12.
Crothers had success in this last play that Coach Graham drew up. They got themselves a good clean look from three. They're probably doing something here again too. It doesn't necessarily have to be three at this stage. When you have 13 points, 40 seconds, you just got to start scoring. So if they get a three, great, but I'm sure there'll be a secondary action, something going towards the rim, potentially trying to draw a foul. Let yourself get into a set defense again. As you've got to create some turnovers here now to get back on top.
Crothers using their last time out here, so Coach Graham's going to have to get a lot of information out there if she's going to want to extend this.
Really, I think the keys in these scenarios is to make sure you communicate the foul scenario when you're fouling. Are you trapping first? Are you playing a pass first? Or are you going to foul? And you just have to hold that philosophy probably for a time. 42 seconds worth of time.
Crothers ball on the sideline. Clayton hits from, no, long two. A good quick look. And a quick foul.
Good job there. Crothers, though, I think what they had originally drawn up got a little distorted by the zone, but they do a nice job of finding where they had Pellington exposed on two. And they made a couple extra passes to get her shuffling and then get a good clean look from her. Washington almost came over from the weak side and got a hand on it, but just a split second too late.
So it's going to be Pellington to the line here. Hits her first. 35 seconds left in the game. Chavez going to get called for the push.
Yeah, and offensive rebounding fouls. We only have one team foul or a fine. Go try and get an offensive rebound.
King looking for the pull-up three. Can't get it to drop. Crothers forcing the tie-up instead of the foul there. It's going to work to their advantage.
Yeah, great pursuit there. He has to play the basketball first always, even when you're fouling. You try and get the ball first, let the referee make a call.
Open three. Won't drop. It's a long two coming from King.
Those ones are tough for King. Just tough. You got to shoot it right now, but when you're running away from the basket, it's probably one of the toughest shots in basketball. So I think she was trying to get to the three-point line. Ball got to her a little before she was ready. Momentum and energy's going the other direction. So again, Crothers had a couple of looks at this. They had to be red hot to make up the deficit they fell on after the third quarter. And be able to overcome it all.
Washington hits her first to push the Durham lead back up to where it's been most of the second half. Bit of a scramble for the ball here. And that's going to do it, 76-63. Durham. Any last thoughts, Steve?
Just everything we were hoping for. You come to the gym tonight, you're getting close to playoff time. You want to see these teams competing. I thought both teams showed very well. The difference comes down just a couple made shots and missed opportunities. So looking forward to a potential rematch.
Absolutely. Well, we are going to switch it over to the Looks like Henry Carr. Henry Carr coming in. The final score here from Bill Crothers is 76-63. Durham Elite. And we will see you next week.